In the summer of 1942, the world held its breath as German forces pushed deep into the Soviet Union. Their target, a city bearing the name of the Soviet leader himself, Stalingrad, more than just a name, Stalingrad was a vital industrial hub on the Volga River. Capturing it would cripple Soviet war production and secure the German Army S-flank as they drove towards the oil fields of the Caucasus. For Hitler, it was a prize of immense strategic and symbolic value. For Stalin, its defense was a matter of national survival. The stage was set for one of the most brutal and decisive battles in human history. The German advance began with overwhelming force. In late August, the Luftwaffe unleashed a relentless bombing campaign, dropping over 1,000 tons of bombs in just 48 hours. The city was engulfed in a firestorm. Wooden houses vanished in an instant, and the sky turned black with smoke. What was once a bustling city was transformed into a nightmarish landscape of twisted steel and shattered concrete. But the Soviets didn't break. The very destruction of the city created a perfect, albeit hellish, fortress. Every ruined building, every pile of rubble, every sewer tunnel became a defensive position. The battle for Stalingrad was about to become a new kind of war. As the German Sixth Army pushed into the city, they found themselves in a meat grinder. This wasn't the open-field blitzkrieg they were used to. This was Rettenkrieg, or rat war. Fighting was block by block, house by house, room by room. Control of a single staircase or factory floor could be contested for days, with immense casualties on both sides. Soviet defenders pioneered a tactic called hugging the enemy. They stayed as close to the German lines as possible, often just a grenade's throw away. This neutralized the German superiority in air power and artillery, as any strike would endanger their own troops. In this brutal urban jungle, a new kind of soldier became legendary: the sniper. Among them, Vasily Zaitsev became a symbol of Soviet resistance. A shepherd from the Urals, his incredible marksmanship turned the ruins into his personal hunting ground. He and other snipers like him demoralized the German invaders, picking off officers and machine gunners with chilling precision. They represented the individual will to fight, a testament to the tenacity of the city's defenders who swore an oath: "There is no land for us beyond the Volga." Every inch of Stalingrad was paid for in blood. By November, the Germans controlled nearly 90% of the ruined city. They were exhausted, their supply lines stretched thin, and the infamous Russian winter was beginning to set in. They believed victory was within their grasp. But the Soviet High Command had been quietly amassing a massive force on the flanks of the German army. On November 19, 1942, they unleashed Operation Uranus. Over 1 million Soviet soldiers, supported by thousands of tanks and aircraft, smashed through the weaker Romanian and Italian forces guarding the German flanks. The attack was swift and devastating. In just 4 days, the hunters became the hunted. The entire German Sixth Army, over 250,000 men, was trapped in a giant pincer movement. The encirclement was complete. What followed was a winter of unimaginable suffering. Trapped inside the Kessel, or cauldron, the German soldiers faced starvation and the merciless cold. Temperatures plummeted to -30 degrees Celsius. The Luftwaffe's promised air bridge to supply the trapped army was a catastrophic failure, delivering only a fraction of the necessary food, ammunition, and medical supplies. Soldiers froze to death in their foxholes, weakened by hunger and disease. Hitler, obsessed with the symbolic importance of Stalingrad, forbade any attempt to break out. He promoted the army's commander, Friedrich Paulus, to field marshal, a grim reminder that no German field marshal had ever surrendered. But reality was undeniable. By the end of January 1943, the German position was hopeless. The remaining soldiers were skeletal figures, fighting with their last ounces of strength. On January 31st, a haggard and defeated Field Marshal Paulus surrendered what was left of his southern forces from the basement of a department store. The remaining German troops in the north surrendered 2 days later. Of the nearly 300,000 men of the Sixth Army who were encircled, only about 91,000 survived to be taken prisoner. Of those, a mere 6,000 would ever see Germany again. The city of Stalingrad was a graveyard, but it was a Soviet graveyard. The victory at Stalingrad was more than just a military triumph. It was a profound psychological turning point in World War II. It shattered the myth of German invincibility and marked the beginning of the end. For the Third Reich, for the first time, the Nazi war machine had suffered a defeat from which it would never fully recover. From the ruins of Stalingrad, the Red Army began its long, brutal march west, a march that would end in Berlin over 2 years later. The sacrifice made in the rubble of that city on the Volga had not just saved the Soviet Union, it had changed the course of world history. The name Stalingrad would forever be etched in memory as a symbol of incredible resistance and the ultimate price of victory. Thank you for watching. If you found this look into history compelling, please like this video and subscribe for more.